welcome to the meeting here. Today we have Ashley Gronberg. I believe I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay,
Ashley
cool.
Gronberg.
Awesome, cool. We are having her on the show here. She's a very, very successful life insurance agent, and I have never really picked Ashley's brain much, so I decided what better time to do it than on live television. So I'm going to do it right now. So Ashley, you want to just introduce yourself to people a little bit, maybe give a little bit of background about you and your career so far in the insurance industry?
So I had gotten started in the insurance industry about 3 years ago. Before then, I had just been, I call it like a serial job taker. I would take jobs just left and right. I just kind of kept it moving until I was happy, which I'm glad I made that decision, because then when insurance kind of presented itself, I was like, sure, why not? I had some people from high school that I went to school with, and I had seen that they had gotten started in life insurance, or at the time just in sales, and they had presented the idea to me to make $100,000 doing sales. I love sales. I loved the idea of $100,000 a year. So I just kind of got started because that was the type of person I was. I just kind of kept it moving until I found something that I liked. And there was a time in my life where I was like, am I just always gonna flock around to the next thing? I don't know, but no, I mean, I planted my flag in insurance 3 years ago, and it's one of the best decisions that I could have made. Last year, our team did about $35 million in simplified issue life business. I think one of the coolest things that we were able to accomplish was in January of 2020, we had hit around $150,000 in issued life premium, and then fast forward 1 year later, January 2021, we were able to do 1.2 million. So that was kind of crazy during the pandemic to be able to
It's like 10x.
to do that.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and really we just kept it moving through COVID, through everything that was kind of thrown our way. But yeah, I mean, really being a serial job taker, I guess, kind of led me to just falling into insurance. I think like a lot of people probably listen to this kind of fell into it.
Awesome. How'd you scale like that?
How do we scale?
How did you guys scale like that?
Yeah. So there's so many different things that we could get into, because that's a loaded question. But aside from the staff that we hired and attracting good people into our business who also wanted to grow and were excited about where we're going, and they definitely caught passion with the vision and we casted out there. I really this is just an unpopular way to describe it, Justin, and that's why I like to bring it up, is I fell in love with meeting new people, and the people that I was bringing in were falling in love with meeting new people. And the reason I word it that way is because everyone kind of, I think you know this, wants a shortcut. Hey, how are you able to do that? How are you growing? How are you recruiting these people? Well, you're not afraid to meet new people, and you've kind of fallen in love with meeting new people and sharing the opportunity. But a lot of it has to do with some infrastructure. We definitely made sure that we had a CRM that was pushing people through the pipeline. We also, which you guys, if you don't have access to a CRM, if you do have access to a CRM, you can literally look them up. It's an app, and you can start to push people through your pipeline. These weren't things, obviously, that are set up for you in the industry. This is really like a start your own business kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the way that we looked at it. And so really we found good people, but first we had to become the people we were looking for, because I think that that's a big thing too, is you can't really reach people that that are out of your reach, so a lot of people are like, oh, I want the top sales guy here, I want this, I want that. Well, you know, a lot of times you have to become that person in order to attract it. So
I'm just taking notes here. I'm not looking at something else, so I'm saying,
no, you're okay.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, that's really, like I said, that's an unpopular way to answer that question. But the reason I address it that way is because a lot of people want the shortcut. They want what lead works to recruit. What are you saying?
Oh, trust me, I know. I hear it all the time.
They want to send the same 50 messages out on Instagram and LinkedIn and expect to grow a massive agency, but it just doesn't work that way. So we did use a lot of social media, a lot of word of mouth, and we really, really leaned on each other as a team to help this thing grow. So if we had someone who was really good at getting people on board and writing 20K in premium a month right away, 30K, 40K, then we would utilize each other and hop on calls and help each other close people and kind of understand that process together.
Awesome. How much did you guys do last month?
Last month we did, I think the last month we did about, I want to say just, it was like 5.1 million.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, that's huge. Sick.
Thank you.
For sure. Yeah. I've had people ask, like, I've had a lot of course signups you guys are doing obviously a ridiculous amount of people hiring. I think my like 70 signups a week is a lot. I can't imagine how many you guys are doing. And like people ask like, what's the shortcut? And I'm like, not the shortcut, like how do you do it? And I'm like, spend a lot of money and, hire people and want to meet new people and train new people. So I think that's so cool. That's like mega impressive. Seriously. I've been chasing the $1 million a month for a little while now, and I'm like halfway there. So we did $500,000 last month. So I'm pushing for it. We do all telesales. We're trying to make it in the world. I'm trying to get on your level. So.
No, that's awesome. That's huge. I mean, to be honest, we have agents who are at that 300, 250, 150 a month mark, and they don't understand how big of a deal that is. It's huge to have a team that's issuing 100,000 a month, 200,000 a month. I mean, that's big, and to be able to get people to get on board with you to do that, that's kind of the next step. I definitely find that success in this business is helping people, do the exact same thing you're doing and even faster. So
awesome.
That's huge.
So do you find that you guys have like a couple like large teams within your guys' team, or like multiple smaller ones? Because like a couple people I know who have like fairly large teams, they're like, I have a few guys like totally crushing it, and then there are other smaller divisions.
Yeah. So we have, that's one of the biggest things is you can get someone who's really good and bring them on board, and you can get that leg running, and sometimes it's hard to keep up with that leg because that group and that leg is so good at catching that momentum. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we've got groups that are doing a few 100,000 more than the next. And I don't know if you know this, Justin, but it's definitely a good thing to bring up right now is we just transitioned into a different agency.
Yeah, I know you did. So, I didn't want to bring it up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No. I didn't want to initiate it. You know what I mean? So like, I'm glad you brought it up. So.
No.
Cool.
No, I appreciate that. But we just transitioned into a new agency, so we're kind of going through these same kind of growth pains that we were in the beginning. We're kind of starting fresh, and for me, I'm very excited for that because what that means for us is we get to start fresh with the people that we want to work with. Awesome. And then also it really allows us to jump into, we're going into the Medicare and the life side of business. So,
that's so cool.
We're starting fresh all around, but we've got some really good leaders that are coming in with us.
That's so cool. I did that too. I started fresh with the organization I'm with now. So I actually went from independent to captive. Most people go captive, independent. I switched here because we want to start an insurance carrier. So we found the best way to do that is captive and kind of keep it structured like that. And then the goal is once we hit a certain amount, we'll do, we're going to start a carrier. So just a similar path to a different path to a similar goal, right? Being on top. So.
No, 100%. And that's why I love connecting with people within this industry. And I'm super happy that we were able to connect because there's so much we can learn from each other. And there's so many different routes to take this business. It's not like just a simplified life way is the way to go, or just a Medicare, or just captive.
Exactly,
or,
yeah.
Being independent. There's so many different ways that you can do this business. And that's what I love. And I think that if we can build and love on relationships that we have built, throughout this process, like we're all going to grow, so I think that that's something that's not very much so respected or expected in this business is to get outside.
There's so much business to go around. I don't understand some people's idea of like we have to just restrict it to us. It's like, I don't know, I don't get that. I think it's such a scarcity mindset because if like if you fog up a mirror, you're a prospect for life insurance, you know? So it's like, there's so many, and I'm not saying it in a insensitive way, you know, an OG life insurance salesman told me that he's like 85 years old, you know, and he was like, they fog up a mirror, write him an app. So, but how do you invest in yourself, Ashley? Cause like, I think, you know, clearly you're an extremely motivated person. And I know that, you probably have I would call it a large spirit compared to probably a lot of other people. It's probably a lot that keeps you going and motivated and driven. And I found that creativity follows commitment. So trying to figure out, once you get committed to a goal, I'm sure you're very creative in figuring out how to accomplish it. What do you do to invest in yourself, to learn how to grow and expand? And I imagine that you do invest in yourself in some way in your growth. What do you do to do that?
Yeah, I love that question. So there's a lot to getting to the next level. I feel like there's so many different things that you could do, and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm the morning routine person, or, you know, I'm the invest $5,000 in a coaching course person.
Yeah.
But I'm probably the most all over the place person when it comes to like going after something new.
I was gonna say, I do all that stuff you just mentioned. So
yeah, I know, I try everything, you know. I'm definitely not too good for it, that's for sure. Yeah, I try a lot of different things. I mean, I think that the main thing that I focus on is, one, I have to prioritize a certain amount of hours every single day that are uninterrupted. So for me, the way that I work the best is early morning, late night, and finding a really good time to, you know, get in bed early and wake up early. That's the idea.
Me too.
The idea.
I'm in bed at 8 every day, 8:30. I'm like in bed, up at 4.
Yep. The best thing that you can do also, I think, is, or what I do, I guess, number 2 would be to outsource personal activities, chores, things like that. That gets you time back. So cooking, cleaning, picking stuff up, errands, humaning, all that stuff.
I do all that stuff. I outsource that, yeah.
You know, you try to outsource that. And then number 3, I guess you can put down, is I treat weekdays and weekends as the same. So I go to bed at a reasonable hour. Like I said, wake up at a reasonable hour, and I work. You know, there's only a certain amount of days in the year. And so I think that you've got to really try to stay on top of that. And if not, you can lose track very easily. Next thing is if I take inventory of things that are helping me, I guess, in a certain moment, but then sometimes have a crash. So things like stimulants, coffee, things like that. I want to make sure I'm cycling that, because if you can't function without those things, then they're not really a benefit to you, I think, anymore. So to me personally, I feel like if you're using things like coffee, things that keep you up, keep you going, if you're dependent on that, then, you know, it's taking control of you instead of you taking control of it, I guess. Another thing I look at, Justin, too, is I take inventory of the people that are in my life. So friends, family, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I look around and see if it's an ecosystem where it's natural for me to grow, or if I'm literally dying in it.
Yeah.
And one thing I like to bring up, too, is cheerleaders don't ask the quarterback to leave the game when the game's on the line. And so if you've got someone at home, or you got friends or family who you feel like are holding you back, you got to take a look at that. You need a workspace. It's not going to have distractions. That's huge. These are things too, like this is how I invest in myself, is I make sure that these things are in order, right?
Yeah.
Just to kind of get back to exactly what it is that you brought up there. So I want to make sure that these things are in order. And then for me, like, my time is my investment. That's why I guess I should have started with that. My time is my investment to myself. I also do I have hired a coach to build infrastructure and systems, so I'm learning how to do that. I have a coaching coach who teaches me how to coach. I've got, that's as far as like where I'm putting my money into, right?
I'd say you invest in people too, Ashley.
100%.
Like people on your team, you know, like I think, and you invest in yourself with time. I forget where I heard this, but it's like invest in yourself and then in other people. and then assets. So like with the money that you put in things like you having someone take care of your chores, your laundry, your errands, stuff like that. I do that too. I have Instacart, I have a cleaning lady, I got all that stuff, because it's like the amount of money I can make in that time, I can make more than it costs me to do that. And then investing in other people. So I imagine you have a pretty emotional investment in the people in your life too, and then you also invest in people who are and you also invest in making sure that the people around you are invested in you, your growth and in their supportive of you. So I think that's huge, guys. And you got to understand, like, the people in your house, the people who are your friends. Sometimes the person that you put your head down to on the pillow at night can be the person that is like the most toxic to your life, and so, you never know. Sometimes the people that are closest to you, people meet sometimes who are friends or in relationships. You meet, and you're attracted, and you meet each other, and then but sometimes people, guys, you gotta understand. Sometimes you don't grow with those people that you meet. Okay, so sometimes you grow, and then you got to shed leaves, and I just bring that up because I've had friends and family members that I've had to kind of, work in and out of my life. So I get that.
Yeah, 100%. No, I love that you said that. And a lot of times I think that we attract the person that we are in that exact moment, and unless there's like a very clear line of communication about who you were and who you're trying to be, and they're on board with that. It can be a little bit hard. And I think one thing is that, or the best thing you can do is stop being around people who believe in the old you. So if you're trying to create a new story and you're trying to become a new person, you can't be around the people who still believe the old one is there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, trust me, I did heroin for 6 years, so it'll there's a different me now, so yeah.
Right, 100%. Yeah, so you get it more than anyone. I appreciate you bringing that up too, because that takes a lot of growth and figuring yourself out to be able to just throw that out there on a podcast. I think a lot of people don't. Yeah, no, I know, and that's good. That's a good place to be. You've grown a lot, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, and to you, I know we've talked a lot about team growth, agency growth, personal growth. Guys, the big thing is that if you want to crush it in the business, there's real. It's just focused on growing and growing, not only growing you, but growing the people around you too, and helping other people grow. Like, I feel like Ashley's someone who probably puts other people first before herself, and probably wakes up. And if she has someone that's important to her on her team, it's like, how much commission did they make yesterday? Not how much commission am I making off them, right? And I've noticed with a lot of people that are good leaders, it's like, how are my people doing? Are my people eating? And are my people happy? And
yeah,
because everyone's got different goals. But Ashley, what do you think makes a good agent versus a great agent? So there are good agents, and then there are great agents, and then there are good leaders and great leaders. So what do you think makes is the difference between a good agent and a great agent? A few things. I know there's probably more than one, but.
Yeah. No, it's a great question. I think that what makes a great agent is someone who is constantly reaching out for development and is constantly trying to get better, and it doesn't really stop. So you can't really tell who's a good agent until they've done it for 30, 60, 90 days, and now this is the person that they are. They're always trying to learn. Yeah. They're always trying to grow. And they're reaching out constantly for help. They're not like, hey, Justin, I know you're busy. I wanted to reach out. That's a good agent. I wanted to reach out last week, but I wanted to hit you up this week because, maybe you look less busy. I don't know. Like that's a good agent. But the great agent is the one who is persistent, who calls you, hey, I know we had a call this week. What was that time? Is just really on it. And instead of this happened because of this or that happened because of this, they start off calls like, hey, look, I just want to get some coaching. Here's how I set up that presentation. I think this is where I messed up. Where do you think I could have done better? Those are the conversations, and only a great agent is going to ask those questions and reach out for guidance. To me, it's someone who invests in themselves. I think it is important that agents challenge the system. They ask, hey, why do we do it this way? Instead of just, I personally don't want soldiers. I don't want people that don't ask me why we do things, or if I don't explain it properly, I want them to check me and go, hey, why do we do it this way? What is it about this lead that we like? I like those agents because to me, they're not afraid to ask questions and challenge the system. So I mean, to me, a great agent is the one who is constantly seeking to get better, truly. And that's what that looks like, is constantly reaching out for.
Yeah, and constant personal development, like always trying to grow. I agree with that. The agents I know who are really good are like obsessed with trying to get better and keeping an open mind, and always like always on the meetings, always trying to learn something, always open-minded, like always participating, bringing me like an excerpt from a book, putting something in the chat. Putting like just kind of always like trying to bring something new to the game, and you can tell that they're always trying to grow and learn. And it's it's so funny you say that, because I sometimes we'll have like Saturday or Sunday sales boot camps, and on the Sunday ones, like whenever I start them, like the first 10 people to join are like all the vets that are crushing it. I'm like, we're gonna have a sales boot camp. Yeah. And it's all the people who don't need to be there, like they've been doing this longer than me. They're they're crushing it, and like I'm like, okay, well, let's just talk. Like, what's good? What's going on? What are we gonna learn today? And then I'm like, what am I gonna learn from you? And then like it's just funny, like you said, like that, but that mentality doesn't die. So guys, keep investing in yourself. Always try to grow. Always try to get better. What is like a power day for Ashley look like, right? Like what does your day or week look like? How do you organize that? Because I'm sure you're pretty prepared. I feel like you're not like a get up and wing it type person. If you are, then more power to you. But I feel like you probably try to be pretty structured and get stuff done. So how does a day look like for you, or what does a day look like for you?
Yeah, so I have it mapped out the night before. Like you said, if I wing it, then it's kind of just a complete mess. Yeah. So I have my day mapped out before. I actually wish you guys could see these right now. I got my family and friends make fun of me, but I've got like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like a whole, like that type of calendar, like that looks like this. Then I got a calendar that's
let's
like
see
this.
it.
Then I got...
Bring it up.
Okay.
Grab it.
Well, they're in my house. They're on the walls.
Oh, really? Is your camera stationary?
Yes, I'm on my Mac right now.
Oh, okay.
So during all this transition, Justin, I'm so bummed because we've got all our podcast equipment in a bucket right now.
Oh,
so
okay.
I wish that we were up and running like we were, but we're just waiting.
I am just so disappointed. You have no idea. I'm kidding.
I really want to show you guys this.
I'm kidding.
I'm gonna take pictures of them, and then we can add it to this video. How about that?
That sounds good. What I'll do here, I'll show you guys kind of, and let's see, Ashley, if we can compare, because I have a calendar up here, and let's see. We'll do some count. This is guys. If this is not nerding out insurance style, then I don't know what is right now. But I don't even know. Hold on, it's gonna load. I don't usually use this browser. All right, this is a week. I'll do this last week here, because I didn't even like schedule this out normally like I do. So I've been traveling, but let me. So I have. This is let's see if we can get it here. This is my schedule. So I'll have 4:30 audiobook for a half hour, gym, YouTube, Zoom call, new agent training, and then I usually throw stuff in here, closing deals, and so that's a day. Do you structure out like week wise, or how do you structure yours out?
So I do week, day, and month. So that's awesome. What I was kind of explaining, is I've got like a week one that's like long ways, and I got the month one, and then I got another day one that's big.
That's so cool.
So, and for me personally, it's something that's helped me a lot. This is with the transition that I made recently. I knew that this was an opportunity for me to create more new habits for myself. And
awesome.
And to me, if I'm walking by something that gives me my daily structure every day, and then I've got my week one in a different part of the house or the office, and then I got my month one too, and then when I go on my computer, it's there, then it's just like, to me, it makes it a non-negotiable, because it's all in my face.
That's so cool.
For some reason, I were to skip, because there was a time where it wasn't like this, obviously, and during that time, what would happen is if I had these schedules in different areas, and I was just constantly looking at it and going, and just living the entrepreneur life that it looks like everyone lives on Instagram and online, then all of a sudden, like, I just was eating away at myself every day. Why am I scheduling these things? Why am I committing to these and not doing them? And then eventually you get fed up with yourself, and then you start to make it happen. So what it looks like for me when I wake up, my first like 4 hours of my day are just to me. And then after that, I schedule things after that. So we've got team calls, got podcasts, trainings, kind of do filming midday, and then start to do more recruiting in the evening. This is obviously kind of changing every single day at this point, since we are making this transition. I'm also going to be selling with the team again, telesales. I'm probably going to hit some in-home appointments, and the only reason I say that is because when I started this whole thing, I did in-home. I didn't really touch on a ton of telesales, and I love to get in front of people. I love to switch it up. I'm consistent with my schedule, but my schedule changes as far as inside of it. So
yes,
I like to do things in person, do it at home. We got workout equipment at home, we got the gym, so I like to change it up.
I have to force myself to make those changes, because like today, I'll literally be that person who will sit in front of my computer and work for 13 hours straight, and I won't get up, and I'll eat where I am, and I literally have to be like, Justin, go for a walk, go do something different, or else I'm gonna just collapse.
You like go to the bathroom, you look in the mirror, and you're like, why do I look like a red screen? Like, it's because you've been looking at a screen.
Why are the bags under my, why do I need Botox and I'm 32, right? So cool. Yeah, so actually, the first day of training for new agents, I don't even touch on sales at all. So the first day, it's what are your goals and what's your schedule? And we have it here where, like, for telesales, since everyone's on the same CRM, we can jump in on people when we're closing their sales. So for a new agent to get on the phone, to do like a brand new agent to close a sale from start to finish by themselves, telesales, it's pretty challenging. Like if you've never been in the home before, you don't know how the apps work, all that stuff, people can just bang on you and hang up. It's not like in the house where people like are forgiving. So we have a thing where we jump in for new agents and help them close their sales halfway through. So they go through like the greeting, fact finding, and then their coaches and team builders jump in and close the sale there. So, one of the requirements is like, hey, every week you got to submit a schedule. Like you don't have to, obviously there's no set schedule. You don't have to do it. But if you want that assistance from your people, hey, we are working a schedule. We want to see what you guys are doing so that we can be available for you. We know when you're around. So it's like, hey, this person's got to work a little bit later. But I've found too, every successful agent that I've seen is goal focused and writes out a schedule. So I don't do it to like micromanage, like everyone's 1099, they can work when they want. And I tell them, look, you can do what you want, but if you want to like be involved in our fast track program, then we want to see when you're working so that we can be there to help you. So, because I think it's so important. So I don't even touch, people are probably surprised. They're like, dude, this guy had me people probably ask, they're like, what'd you do your first day of work? They're like, he had us write down goals and write out a schedule. It's like, felt like I was in kindergarten.
No, I think that is awesome, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I can tell you right now that if you're someone who's in the industry or been in the industry for a month, 2 months, or a year, and you look at that type of system, I mean, that's not micromanaging. That's really saying, here's like my hand, you want to hold it, I will help you, to a certain point.
Yeah.
But like people need that when they get into this, and they need to be told that like, hey, you got to make a schedule. We need that. Because without it, I mean, it's really, really easy to have that entrepreneur Instagram highlight reel, whatever schedule where it's like, oh, got to pick up my custom tennis shoes at 2, nails are at 3, lashes at 4. I
got a suit tailored. I don't even know when I'm going to get it. I leave for Mexico on Saturday. It's 45 minutes away. I have no idea when I'm picking it up. Mind you, I haven't had a suit tailored in years. I usually don't.
No, but that's awesome. And I think too that brings up a good point with schedule, because we were talking about this. Is one thing I was trying to, for a little while when I first started out, I was like, I don't know how to relate to people who are married with a bunch of kids and have this different lifestyle than I do, because it's, how am I going to grow this thing if I can only relate to me when I'm trying to reach people who are married with kids or, have a second job. And I think that the best thing that you can do is make a schedule for yourself, commit to it to yourself. And then if you have someone at home, your spouse, I would sit down with them and don't let it be in the middle of a fight. I want to do this thing.
100%.
Sit down with them at a calm time and say, hey, look, this is I really, maybe this thing didn't work before, but I'm really zoned in on this right here. I want to make this happen. I know I can, but I can do it way easier and so much better with your support. So here's what the next month's going to look like for me. It's going to be late nights, early mornings, maybe I'm going to miss a couple dinners, but I promise you if I commit to this, you know, I will be able to take myself to the next level. And I might not be able to commit to an income goal for you right now, you know, if you're talking to your spouse. But here I can commit to my schedule, and I know that as long as I'm constantly improving myself, then I will get to where we need to go. But you have to have those conversations with the people that you live with or the people that you consider your support system.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And getting them on the same page. Another thing too, like I don't have kids, so it's like, but I do know the people who are successful at this who have kids, their kids are on a schedule too. So it's like the whole family's kind of synced in on everything. And what I'll give you guys here is a quick little sneak peek if anybody wants to reach out, and I'll send you guys a little template I use for setting a schedule. I'm sure Ashley does something totally different. But I think of my goals for 5 to 10 minutes and visualize and manifest them. Then I set my commitments. So like Zoom calls, like this meeting with Ashley where I had to be here, anything I have to be somewhere for someone else. Visualize what I want to get out of it and what it'll do for me and the other people involved. Then I set my personal development time next. So like time with family, time for reading, time for working out, like all that stuff I do next before my money time. And then I put my money time. So for an agent, it's like calls, talk time, speaking to people. For me, it's like recruiting, helping agents close deals, training. And then this is the prep time, guys, that Ashley was talking about. That's so important, right? Because she's not running around all day on Monday, like getting groceries or something. So it's red time, everything you need to maximize your money making time. What can you do? Like what can you do on the weekend? And we know if you're a brand new agent, you may not be able to afford a cleaning lady. You know, Instacart, the 30% upcharge, that can whack you, you know? So it's like you can, like, I understand that stuff, but make sure you put it at the right time, and then make sure you have that alone time. Remember Ashley, she's like, hey, in the morning, I'm sure you don't sit and like watch TV for 4 hours in the morning. Maybe you do, but I'd imagine it's probably pretty growth oriented. But like anything you do to improve yourself. So if anybody wants me to email that to them, I can, and that can, I don't know, help anybody on here who's watching, who's like, I don't even know how to write a schedule, man. I just wake up, and because some people, you know, are there. I was there once.
I'll take that. Honestly, that looked great. I was trying to pull up my phone and screenshot that, but yeah, if you can send that to me, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll send it over too. Yeah, for sure. Cool. So what's like an ideal recruit for you? Because for me, I'll be totally transparent. If anybody on here, they're like, I don't fit that profile, it's okay. I want to, you know, if anybody wants to do this business, I want to work with them and give them a shot. My ideal person is two. Either they're young and super hungry and motivated and totally want to like crush it and are willing to put in as much effort as they need to make it happen, or they are over 35, married, and not the only breadwinner in the house, and both work and and the other one has a decent income and preferably has kids that may be a little bit older. And because I found that, like, for some reason the time commitment, the scheduling is there, like it's not like I need to be rich tomorrow type of thing for like patience in the business. So I found that for me, like I want to give everyone a shot, but I found success percentage wise, like in a transition, those are the two groups for me of people who have like the best success. Like a lot of my successful agents are women over 35 who like started working and they have kids at home. And they're like, you know, I want to contribute to the family now, because they were like stay-at-home moms, or they had to stay at home. They have to just start transitioning because they have kids to at home, or like younger men and women just super hungry, motivated coming into the business. So like, what are your two, like, or like what's like you're like, hey, when you see someone, you're like, I think this person's got a lot of potential. What's something that initially it's so hard to tell you because no one has a drive meter, you know. But like, what's like like a criteria? We're like, man, they kind of check a couple boxes.
Yeah, definitely. You were really good and specific on that, so that helps me to be able to be just as specific. So I love exactly those two types of people. You probably described it differently than I would have, but that is huge. I love that. I would say that I look for different types of people in the industry when, you know, I started to recruit so more on social media and online, and not so much by like people I would just meet out and about. I would look for certain industries, so I can drop some of those for you.
Yeah.
Obviously people in sales are great, but guys, anyone from the hospitality business, servers, bartenders, anyone in that business, I love those people. They have to, you know, basically walk up to a table and become their friend for 30 minutes and then that's it. I like those people. That was me. I was those people. I'm also looking for people in pest control sales. I like people who are in real estate because that is a huge massive industry, and I feel like they don't really know what we're about. So if they just kind of want to sell homes,
they will in the next 2 years.
Yeah, no, 100% for sure. I mean, the industry already feels like it's merging in a really weird way, like from systems to leads to like dialing systems, things like that. I feel like we're merging and we're like becoming more entwined because I've got a lot of friends in real estate.
Well, I mean, too. I mean, as the market, you know, changes in real estate, there's gonna be a lot of people coming to insurance who like.
Yep.
Right, yeah. But yeah, okay. Sorry, keep going. I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. So I just want to give you guys some of these tips because these are people who I target, right? So people that I look for on LinkedIn and my staff looks for on LinkedIn and who I start conversations with. So real estate agents, pest control sales. I'm trying to think of some other like niches like in the market. But the same kind of goes with you, Justin. I'm looking for like young, hungry, motivated people. I'm not looking to motivate. I'm looking for people who are already motivated and want to take it and give this thing a shot. I do find that if you bring someone into the business and they don't really seem like they're that motivated right away, if they really plug into the system and you can get them to plug in, you could basically get someone who's not motivated to become motivated if you have that type of system, and I know you guys do for sure. So if you guys can get people plugged in,
they like start riding the wave, you know, like they're like, whoa, this feels pretty good. I'm part of something here.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the key, you guys, is people want to feel a part of something. People want to so badly feel a part of something. And I think that if you can look for people that are looking to be a part of something, which is easy to do on social media, then, you know, you can really scale this thing. But the key is just constantly being, like as yourself, being the type of person who is falling in love with meeting new people. And I bring that up so many times, but it's like we want all these shortcuts. Justin, I know people come to you all the time like, I don't know, I want to grow, but the thing is, it's like, even if you had no lead source or access to no one online, like what would you do, right? My great grandfather was a life insurance sales agent, and I like think back to like him like in literally
That's
like
so
the
cool.
40s or 50s, driving around town with like a cigar in his mouth with his pool stick in the back, like whether it was a good day or bad day, he's hitting the pool hall. And I'm like thinking about like what would he do if he's looking for a life insurance agent? Well, he would just have to meet new people all the time. Like he would have to put himself out there.
Exactly.
And it's not that we have to do that. We have the internet now. We want to use obviously the automation that we can and use the internet that we have at our fingertips, but it doesn't mean that you skip the step on calling someone, inspiring them, figuring out where they're at and taking them to where they want to go. You still have to have those conversations. It doesn't just, we're still human, you know?
For sure.
So
Awesome. Cool. I like that. I'm taking notes there because I haven't really done any like personal reach outs on social. I've done like I have 5 or 6 assistants that run meetings and interviews throughout the day from job boards, and then I'll jump in and help them with that. So I definitely have to start doing that, like the direct targeting through messaging on apps and stuff. I think, or like Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. Go ahead.
So I can give you guys like an Instagram hack if you guys want.
Yeah.
Or like a hack in general.
Yeah.
So what you can do is you can go onto Instagram, pull up the search bar. You just type in, so go to the search tab, just type in, life insurance agent, right? Then when you're there.
Oh, so you're recruiting, you want to, like, you're looking, if they're already licensed, you're looking at, right?
Yeah, let's just say that you want to look for life insurance. Yeah, and this is just to kind of show you the hack. Then you're going to go over to tags. So you search, it says top accounts, audio tags, places. Go to tags. Click on the top tag right there. Follow it, because now in your feed you're going to be following this hashtag.
Okay, cool.
And then right here, if you see, there's top, and then there's recent. Go to recent. Recent's top is like everyone's loved on it. Everyone knows about them. Go to recent, and now all these people are hashtagging that they're a life insurance agent. What you can do at that point, yeah, instead of, and you can do this. Think about this, Justin. you find a solar company, a pest control company. You know, you
Yeah.
figure out what their hashtag is that they do. If their hashtag's people first company, then you start to hashtag that. Now you're like following like this like web of people in the same industry or the same company,
That's so
and you're
cool.
like dripping on them. And what you should do is, what I've learned is, instead of just, you know, following them and tapping the first 3 photos, what I would do is, this is actually doesn't seem like it's much advice until you start doing it and you repeat it, and now in 30 days now you've got a bunch of calls set up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would really pay attention to this part, you guys, is go down, find someone that you actually really do connect with, or you like something catches your eye, follow that page, send them a message, let them know what you learned from them, because you're going to find something on their page that you learned, you liked, right? Not the first 3 things, like go down, really find something, and then genuinely connect with them. And if you send them a voice message, hey Justin, love what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're in the same industry. How was everything during COVID for you? Did you stay, you know, in home sales, or did you guys move to virtual? How's that going? And you send a voice memo, like they're not going to forget that. And another good tip is that you can leave them a compliment, what you learned from them. That's probably the best form of compliment you can give on social media is, hey, I loved what you said about this, whatever.
Yeah, it really is.
Well,
I
now,
love when people say that about my stuff. So
right? And now you're gonna that person's gonna remember you, and the next time they see you pop up on their feed, or when they see your stories, it's always gonna be in the back of their mind. And it might not be right then and there where they jump on anything or reach out, but eventually they will.
cool. No, thank you.
And yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But I would definitely make that like a 90-day challenge, and I would message 50 people a day on 3 different platforms or 1 platform, and just make it a goal. And if you guys can set those kind of goals for yourself as a team, I mean, that's huge. I remember
Oh, that's insane. I should do that. Like, have everybody, like all my leaders, like be like, yo, you got to message 50 people a day on every social media platform that you have, or make new ones. That's such a good idea. And the thing is, for my division, we can only hire out of Florida right now, so which is a huge state regardless. So I mean, the hashtag
and
I'll have to,
insurance too.
oh yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that's huge. So like, that's gold right there. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. No problem.
And cool. Okay, here, let's do this one. I have a new one. So, knowing what you know now about growth and scaling, first, what I'll do is I will put my chips on the table and see if there's, or I'll show my cards and I'll see if you want to show yours, which is not, there's no really secret hands or anything, but I know if people want to know the secret. You know what's so funny too? I put like the dumbest little videos out about like, learn how to overcome when someone says they have insurance, right? Which it's not dumb, but like little videos like that, and they'll get like a ton, or like tip for new insurance agents. It's my most watched video, and I'm like, let everyone know you sell insurance, and like everyone watches that. But then when I'm like, this is how you can make like a ridiculous amount of money growing an agency, no one watches it. But since they're probably watching on here, because I'm gonna have you on the thumbnail, and you're definitely better looking than me, so we're gonna get tons of views, and we're gonna have people wanting to know how to scale and grow. Okay, so it's what I'm gonna do, and I think the key to growth is finding a few leaders and then growing that way. So like so when I started, guys, if you're watching this, like when I started, I think I could have grown a lot faster. And I've seen people like Ashley way outpace me in growth because I was focused on the wrong thing. So when I started, I was like sales, training, sales, training, build salespeople. But because of where I came from. But what I had to do is build leaders, because when you build leaders, you multiply your business, and when you build salespeople, you add to your business. Now, I'm not saying not to build good sales agents. I'm not saying not to focus on training and sales training. But for me, my next steps moving forward, I know to grow are, hey, I got to find more leaders to grow and develop. So, and then scale from there and teach them, hey, how do I duplicate myself? So. That's really what my game plan is moving forward. I have some people in mind, and I'm already helping some people do that. What is your game plan, knowing, hey, we're here, we know where we want to go, and you've kind of gone through what you kind of probably have an idea of the path that you have to take, which I think is monstrous. And by the way, congratulations to you, seriously, of taking that step and taking that leap and that jump to do that and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to stick up for what I believe in and what I feel is right for me and the people in my life and go this direction, because it says so much like they really that just like it says so much about you, Ashley. I don't really even know you, but I'm really proud of you, and I'm proud to say that I do know you because like you stuck up for yourself, and I had to make that change at one point too. So I know what it feels like to be like cutting this relationship because it doesn't feel good. And what I stand for is more important than anything else. So what are your plans moving forward, and what kind of hand are you going to play to move forward to grow, hopefully fast, I'd imagine, hopefully faster than you did before or in a different way. So what are you looking to plan on doing?
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you bringing that up because those decisions are hard to make at the time, but then after you look back and exactly like you were saying before, you can look back and be proud of yourself. So I appreciate that. But you guys, what the future looks like for me and for our agency, more so our agency, is we're just looking to grow and develop leaders on both the life and the Medicare side. And so really what we're excited about is just bringing people in to an industry and creating a safe haven for them to come in, and that's the name of
I know, I love that. I love how you put that in there so smooth. It was good.
Thank you. But yeah, we're just looking to create a space where agents can come in and, decide if they want to take the life route, the Medicare route, either way.
Sweet.
But just have a place where people can come in and just start to elevate their life. And one thing that I learned from my dad growing up is with our camping spots and also with people, he would always say, just like the camping spot, you got to leave it better than you found it. And that's exactly kind of like what I've, tried to model my life around, is leaving people and organizations and campsites and everything in between better than I found it. So really our goal is to just help people reach that next level of their life, and
you should run for politics. Maybe you leave that better than you find it.
I don't know if politics would be for me.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
My dad's like, "Did you watch the news today?" I'm like, "No, Dad, I didn't."
Yeah,
He's like,
my dad too.
You need to stay up to date. Okay, I will. I want it, Dad. Thank you.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought of it like, leave it better than you found it.
Yeah. But I'm where our agency is going is it's not necessarily that we're looking to grow just like millions of dollars of legs and that we're trying to do this monstrous thing. I mean, we are trying to do something big, but the way that I think we're trying to leave our dent on this industry is to help agents come in, teach them how to make money, and then teach them how to keep it, and make sure that agents have the right infrastructure and the right leadership and mentorship around them to help them evolve. So
I agree.
It's really not a number, which is weird because I've come from a place where it's just like, what's the number? What's like, where are you going? And where I'm going is, to me, it's so much more than a number can even put on it. But it's just, we're really trying to create a safe place where people can come and really and elevate their life. And if they want to leave, it's okay. They can leave, and that's going to be fine,
No, it's huge that you say that, because in the model that, the business model that you're in, like everyone's hunting, and I learned this too, like if say our organization dissolved and then tomorrow I had to start square one and I was in an independent model, I know for a fact, like if people like fight for like commission levels and percentages, everyone can give someone an extra 0.25% or an extra 1.25%. You find the right people, you're gonna find out that 100% that someone's bragging about. Like I had a buddy who's like, "Oh, dude, I'll start you at like 130. I don't care," and I'm like, "Oh, whoa!" But he was like, "But everybody can do a little bit, but it's like, who's the leader there that's going to develop you, and who's going to help you go through?" Because the good agents, what I found, the really good agents, they're not like, they're usually like kind of learning things on their own, trying to figure it out. Like I found, for me personally, I found a lot of the people that are it's easier for me to overlook a good agent, because there's ones that aren't that great who try to soak up my time with like little questions. They're like, "Hey, can we listen to some of my calls?" I'm like, "No, you made 30 this week." Like I'm not, so like, those things like that. But it's like, who's going to be there to develop you? So the good agents don't always need that. But the thing is too, is like when they do run it, like for me, like I don't, like James, my business partner, he's my upline, but he's like, don't call me that. I'm your business partner. So I'm like, okay, cool. He's gonna text me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. He's like, bro, we're business. I said the other day on an interview, and he's like, he texts me like an hour later. He's like, bro, we're freaking business partners. Like, what are you doing? You know? And I'm like, all right, yeah.
Oh, he loves you and respects you big time. That's what that is.
And it's mutual, you know. But I'm like, but I if I'm going through something, I call, like, him and I have these like 5 a.m. conversations. Swear to God, we'll call each other like 5:30 in the morning because we know that's the only time we're gonna get like a good conversation in. And like, he's someone that I can go to that with. So like, I think that's huge that you're doing that. And I feel like if one of your agents was like, had something going on that you knew was like an important person in you, or like that you were investing in, and I feel like you're someone who would be there like that too. So guys, if you're looking around and you're looking for a place to work and you're watching this, reach out to Ashley. You can find her on Instagram. You'll get Ashley Gronberg. Reach out, add her, send her a message. She'll give you a much higher commission percentage than I could. I can guarantee you that. And and she'll be as I just say that.
That's funny.
No, but she
That was good.
she's reach out, you know, and she's growing something, and I'm telling you, you got a really, really good leader in Ashley. If you're looking for somewhere to work and to call home, if you feel like you're not getting the support that you need, if you feel like you're putting the time in. By the way, YouTube is amazing. Ashley, you should start a YouTube channel, because the cool thing about YouTube is you get those people that are investing in themselves watching the channel. So anybody here who's going to reach out to you from this is going to be like, hey, I was watching an hour-long interview with you on YouTube, and I want to reach out to you. So guys, reach out to Ashley too. That's the best way to reach out to you, Ashley. YouTube?
On YouTube?
I mean, not YouTube, sorry, Instagram.
Yes,
Yeah.
Instagram. Yeah, that's perfect. You can DM me on Instagram. And go ahead. I so appreciate you having me on though, but I'll mention that in a second.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we're getting to an hour here. It went pretty fast. Usually I go like half hour, but I usually don't know what to say. But I really appreciate this whole thing, and it was huge because, like, I don't know, it was a lot of really good content. I took a ton of notes. Like, I learned a lot from you today, and you're really, really going to help me grow, I know, and help me reach my goals in second half of 2022, which I always get pumped when, like, those, like, quarter comes up, because I'm like, oh, I can sit there and focus on what I want. I can just game plan and strategize, and you're really gonna help me do that. So
no, this has been one of the best interviews that I've been on, really, truly. Like, you can tell, like, you're so passionate about what you do. You love your people. It, like, just, like, exudes out of you. And so it's just refreshing to be on calls with people who are kind of, you know, on that same mission as you are. So I really appreciate you, and I think that your team is going to continue to grow, and I think you guys are going to do big things in this industry for sure. And I just really appreciate you asking me to get on this, and truly, truly, truly wish you and your team nothing but the best. And hopefully we can continue to do interviews like this, and hop on each other's Zoom calls throughout the week and help each other out. And
I was just thinking that same thing. I was like, you know, I would love to have you on a Zoom with us, because, like, we're not, like, we are. So Rory Doherty, it's funny that you mentioned your grandfather, your great-grandfather was a life insurance agent. Rory is not going to watch this. He does not have a social media account or anything like that. He owns the we're an IMO. He owns Senior Life Services, Florida Insurance Services. He started 50 years ago, about 40-something years ago. Yeah, 43 years ago. Cold calling out of a phone book to sell life insurance. So I've heard his script. He's a savage. He's so good. And he built this whole agency. Anytime you're in Vero Beach, come by the office. I don't live there, but it's in Vero Beach. He has like a tens of thousands square foot building. That's our home office that, like, he built. And it's so cool. We got a few direct mail printers in the basement that just rip out direct mail ads for our field agents. We got a big 70-something person call center upstairs, a whole back office staff. Like, you go there and you're like, man, this guy is like the life insurance agent's, like, goals. He's got a $25 million house on the beach he's building. Like, he's got, like, all this, but he's such a generous, cool guy. If you go to his house, he'll, like, give you the whole tour. Like, he's super cool. But
that's cool.
Yeah, but what made me think about it is, like, you know, what was it like for them? Like, they had to go meet people. Roy told me, he's like, and guys, this is for anybody watching this who's, like, you know, thinking you got to make calls, and that's a challenge. Like, I don't know how to make my calls through the day. Rory used to carry a pocket full of quarters, he told me, and he'd have his trunk full of old leads, so that when he would be in an area, he would go, and if an appointment was a no-show, then he'd have his leads and he'd go to the nearest payphone. He's like, I knew where all the payphones were in my county, and I'd look at my old leads, and I would just try to schedule some appointments right there with the old leads. But he used to say this to them. He used to say, hey, my name is Rory. I'm reaching out because your number came. He called it out of the phone book, and he'd be like, your number came across my desk today, and we handle almost all the life and health insurance in your area. So a good friend of yours must have referred you to us. I'm going to be in your area tomorrow around this time, and then he would just book his whole schedule doing that. So it's cool.
Came across my desk, literally. The notebook came across.
The phone book came across my desk. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, shout out to Rory. Our agency's going to Mexico Saturday, and I'm going to be there with him, and we'll be hanging out. It'd be cool. But Ashley, thank you. Anything that you want to share with the audience here about, I don't know, anything you want to share before we head out?
To close it out?
Yeah.
Closing out, this part is the one where I want to leave you with the best thing I can, but
whatever.
I think one of the questions, that you asked me at the beginning, it just made me think about towards the end of this, is just, you asked what I invest myself, like what do I do to invest in myself. And I think you guys, like, the best thing that you can do is to invest in yourself 100%, and make sure that you're taking inventory of your time, and that you look around at the ecosystem in your friend group and your family and your work life, and like, you need to look and ask yourself, like, is this a natural place for me to grow? And if it's not, and you really want to be growing in this industry, and you want to take this to the next level, and you don't want to go back to your 9-to-5 or work with your hands, on a job site anymore, I would just really, really take inventory of your life and figure out what it is that you need to take out, because once you start to subtract things out of your life, it's much easier to add things in.
Mm-hmm.
And just know that everyone started somewhere. Obviously, being on this call with Justin and I, you'd know that we're just normal people. We just probably continued to do something that didn't work over and over and over, figured out how to make it work better over and over and over, and then we just didn't throw in the towel. So just be focused on where it is that you're going, but don't lose sight of having fun right now, getting there. Because if the moment you stop having fun and you're so focused on where you're going or where you've been, I mean, that's when I see people kind of drop out. They're too focused on where they're going to go, they don't reach it, then they're like, and they back out, or they're so focused on what happened before.
Mm-hmm.
So just make sure that you're living today, right now, and you're working towards where it is that you want to go, but don't lose track, and have fun along the way.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. So remember, guys, invest in yourself. Keep yourself focused. Take present moment actions to create the future that you want for yourself. And just, reach out to someone. Love people. Love meeting people. I bring that on sales calls too when I jump on. I'm like, what can I do to make this person smile and be happy today? Even if I don't sell them a policy, I'm like, what can I do to give this person a good experience? And I go in, I try to make them laugh and smile, and so
you gotta leave them better than you find them.
Leave them better than you find them. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, hey, Ashley, thank you so much. So, guys, if you'd like to reach out to Ashley, if anybody here wants to learn about the opportunity that Ashley has available at Safe Haven Agency, then you can reach out to her on Instagram. And if maybe someone already has a license and they want to reach out and they want to see what's going on over there, they can reach out to her there. And if you're not licensed and you're looking to get into the industry, then I'm sure Ashley has a wealth of information and resources that could help you do so. So reach out to her, Instagram, Ashley Gronberg. I am like really dehydrated here. I don't know why. I went through like a whole cup of water, and I'm getting over sinus infection. So,
same.
Oh, there you go. Cool. My cup was actually purple. I didn't realize till I brought it here that it was a color changing cup. So it gets purple with cold water. So I'm like, everyone's going to think I'm like a 12-year-old drinking Kool-Aid or like drinking like, getting drunk like on the interview tonight. But
right.
All right, cool, Ashley. I appreciate you, and guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Hey, look, if you find any of my content valuable, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on post notifications. What that helps me do is push my video to more insurance agents who can learn more, so they don't get all those other crappy insurance channels clogging up their feed. So if you like my video, subscribe to my channel and turn on the post notifications. It's going to promote my content more. And thanks, guys. I appreciate that. And also, if you look up right here, you're going to see another interview I have actually with an agent that works within my agency, and she talks about her story in the insurance industry as well. Thank you, guys.